Hi guys, and welcome to Renting DVC Points 101 by CONSIDERINGDVC.COM. I am your host, Christelle, and if you've come here, it's because you have decided that renting DVC points might be something of value to you, and I'm here to help you figure out if that's true. So let's get started. What does it mean exactly to rent DVC points? So renting Disney Vacation Club points can really be defined as, a one-time use of a number of a DVC member's points to book a deluxe villa room at Walt Disney World. You're making an agreement with that owner that they're going to rent you their points, and in exchange or in return, you are going to pay them for them. So that's basically what renting DVC points is. Why would someone rent DVC points? There's going to be two main reasons. The first one is saving off of, what Disney would quote you for the same exact room. So you can stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and buy that room through, disneyworld.disney.go. But it's going to cost you a lot more than if you just rent the points you need in order to stay in that exact same room. So the first reason is going to be to save off the rack rate. And then the second reason, which is probably going to be the majority of you guys, is because you're considering buying into DVC. It is a significant financial investment, and renting is a really good way to try it out. I actually did this myself before buying in, so I completely understand, and I do think it's a good idea. So how much does renting points cost? That's a good question. So that's going to depend on a lot of things. It's a per point cost. Depending how many points you're going to need, what resort you're staying at, stuff like that. So that's really going to depend, and I'll go into that a little bit more later. On the right, you will see my ebook called Disney World on a Budget. Just covers planning your Disney World vacation overall, and saving the most money possible. That can be found at planningthemagic.net/on-a-budget. So again, planningthemagic.net/on-a-budget. Spell it just as it is. So let's say, for example, you now decided you're going to go ahead and rent DVC points, and now what do you do? So the first thing you got to figure out when you're going to rent DVC points for you and your family is the qualifications. So obviously, how many nights, what resorts are you open to, how many points does that mean, and dates. So you could be flexible on your dates, you could not be. And then what size you need. So do you need a studio? Do you need a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom? So yeah, those are things that you definitely want to figure out beforehand. How many nights, what resort, and how many points that means. And that's going to coincide with the accommodation. So yeah. So, now you know what you need and how do you get what you need. That's the biggest concern. I love that picture. I took that January 2016 at Old Key West. But anyway, there's two ways to rent points, and the first one is going to be renting from a member. This is the route that I took. So what you do when you rent from a member is you're going to go to mouseowners.com, mouseowners.com, no spaces. And go to their rent, trade, transfer board. And there you're going to find people posting about having points to rent out. And you can also post yourself about needing points. So that's where you're going to go, mouseowners.com. And so with renting points from a member versus the other way that we'll go over, there's a lot of legwork. You have to find a member that has enough points. You have to do a couple things to cover your butt, basically. If you want a really high-profile resort like Grand Floridian and Bay Lake, you most likely will have to find a member whose home resort is the resort you want to stay at, because they will have an 11-month booking window because that's their home resort, versus a 7-month if it wasn't. And 9 times out of 10, everything's going to be booked come 7 months. So there's quite a bit of legwork that goes into it. You're also going to want to know the cost. I mean, the cost is going to be anywhere between $11 to $15 a point. Again, depends on the member, depends on the points. If I'm a member and I own at Grand Floridian, my points are going to be worth more than maybe like Saratoga Springs points. It's just because of, how wanted the resort is, basically. And so really quick, I want to talk about, the risk that comes with renting points from a member, and that's that they like steal your money, basically. So when you're renting points from a member, I have a post on this, and I'm going to link to it on the bottom, but you want to do a couple of things. You want to review the activity in the public messages on their mouse owner's profile. Are they like a brand new member? Have they been renting for a while, etc. You can ask for references or people that they've rented to before. Contact those people. Use a contract. A sample can be found at David's Vacation Club Rental, which is DVCrequest.com. I'll link to that in the article. Verify their ownership through Florida's Comptroller's Office. Again, I'll include that link. And last but not least, like use PayPal and also a credit card to cover you financially just in case anything happens. So yeah, those are some things you can do. There's still always going to be some type of risk, but it'll lessen with all this stuff. And I did it, and I did every single thing I just mentioned, and I was fine. You can rent from a store. So renting from a store like David's Vacation Club Rentals, or the DVC rental store, is convenient. They kind of serve as a broker. They're accredited by the Better Business Bureau, both have A+ ratings. It's a safer route for sure. You do a lot less work, and it's going to cost more money. So you're going to pay a premium for that safer route for, like sitting back and relaxing and letting someone else do the work for you. And also having customer service, at your beck and call, basically. So you're going to pay anywhere between, I would say, like $14 to $18 a point, sometimes more. I've seen points go for $22, $26 a point. It just depends, on the season and stuff like that. So definitely something to be mindful of. It just depends, what you want to do and what you feel comfortable with. So like, why wouldn't, someone rent points? Why not rent points? If I'm staying at a deluxe villa, maybe I don't even want DVC. I'm staying at a deluxe villa. Why would I not rent points and pay through Disney and pay thousands of dollars more, like 50% more? Well, because you are not in control of the process at all. You lose control. Someone else is going to book your stay for you. If you want to add Disney dining plan, you have to contact that person and let them know, and they have to do it for you. So you lose control a little bit. And then there's also no mousekeeping every day. It's mousekeeping for DVC is every 4th night if you're staying more than 8 nights. So if that's big for you, that's a downside. It doesn't matter to me. You want to buy into DVC. That's something you're gonna have to deal with. It's supposed to be more like a homestay than a hotel stay, if that makes sense. So what you need to know before you search out points, you need to know where you want to stay. Like, what resorts are you open to? You need to know what size room you want. How many people are going? How many, if you have 4 people, you could fit in a studio. But if 2 of those people are teenagers, you might not want to stay in a studio. And the other 2 are adults, of course. What dates are you going? Are you flexible? And then, of course, what's your budget? Like, what do you want to spend? You can negotiate with members on how much, you want to pay per point. If they say 13, say 12, get a budget and try to stick to it as much as possible. That's what budgets are for. So yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of our discussion on renting points. If you have any questions, just contact me through the contact form. I hope I covered everything. And if you've rented points before and maybe have some more tips or questions that other people can answer that, not necessarily me, leave them in the comments. I mean, I want this to become an information overload for anyone that comes through here. So tell me about your experience renting points and what you did that worked well. So yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, and have a great day. Thanks.